Hello, it's Sadie. I wanted to come on because this topic has been coming up for me personally, but then I saw a video on it this morning by someone I really like. Their work, they're on TikTok. Her name is Key Guidance. If you're into like the energy of starseeds and the galactic wars, all that stuff, she talks a lot about that stuff, but she talked about this topic this morning and I really felt called to do a video on it. And that is twin flame interference or divine union interference. So many of us, myself included, were like feeling like, oh, union's gonna happen, everything's coming together, all the readings, all the cards, everything just seemed like everything was in alignment, and then whoop, it all went kablooey, right? And so part of the reason why that is, it's not so much that you need to do more healing. We're always going to be healing. It's not that you're not ready for love. It's not that you don't love yourself enough. It's not that, you're not in a space for alignment to union. It is because there are energies and entities in this world that do not want to healed or mostly healed or two divine masculine and feminine energies to come together that can facilitate a significant amount of healing together. And so a lot of us find ourselves in this space of, everything was going to happen, everything was moving forward, and now everything's screeched to a halt, or there's been a complete change. There are still some of you out there who things are moving forward. You're seeing the momentum. My advice to you is just to continue to have the faith, pray for the protection of the connection. And also, don't tell anybody anything. Do not tell your friends. Do not tell others like, hey, we're coming together. Hey, we're talking. Hey, things look like they're moving forward. Say nothing. Move in silence until that you two are actually together. Because you just don't want energies that would be jealous, karmic, or interfering to block the momentum that is taking place for you. For those of us in my position where it's just like, okay, union's not taking place right now. These are some of the things that Spirit wanted me to say. I'm going to bring through some of the forms of interference that the video I was talking about this morning that I saw from Key Guidance on TikTok talked about, but also wanted to kind of bring through some messages from my own guides. Number one, okay, is that nothing that is truly meant for you can be blocked or stopped. But because everything is energy, there can be delays. There can be detours, all right? And so if you find yourself in a space where things are delayed, things are detoured, if you find yourself in a position like myself, who's literally getting ready to move in a few days and my car got interfered with and now I have to get a new vehicle, which takes away money from the move, that's a divine detour. God is always in charge. It's going to work out for the highest good. And so don't allow yourself, and I know this is much easier said than done, but don't allow yourself to get discouraged, okay? Trust in the divine plan. Trust in the divine plan. Have faith that you are fully guided, supported, and protected at all times. And just know that as things sort of get rearranged or redirected, you're always, if you are in alignment with your truth, if you're listening to your intuition, if you're coming from a genuine place within your heart and soul, you're always going to be placed in the right time, in the right path, have the right circumstances, and have exactly what you need when you need it. So that's number one, okay? Number two, you have to understand you are not fighting against flesh and blood. This is a spiritual battle. We are warriors. We are light workers, twin flames, anybody who has like a higher spiritual destiny, starseeds. You actually came to be a spiritual warrior. And so as much as that sucks, because most of us are lovers and we just want love and we just want happiness and we just want peace for the world and we just want peace for ourselves and our lives and we just want harmony, there are energies and forces that do not want that, who know our light, who see our light, who knew who we were before we were who we are, and who have been sort of placed on our path, not just for our own spiritual benefit, but we're also benefiting them. And so understand that your mission is multifaceted. Your purpose, your divine purpose, your life purpose, the reason why you are here is not just for you to ascend. It is not just for you to do the healing work for yourself. Every interaction, every relationship, every connection, everything that you do has purpose and meaning, sometimes more than you could ever possibly know. That's why I have a channel like this, because it doesn't matter that the numbers aren't big. I know that I am on purpose, that I'm doing the purpose that I'm meant to do, that I am giving the message to who needs to have the message, and that seed of light is being planted in the right places for the right people. And what you do with that seed and how you grow that seed of light and expand it and move it on, that is light work, okay? And so just understand that it all has a divine purpose behind it, even dark. Dark serves the light, and light helps to elevate the darkness. As much as it doesn't seem like that, that is divine truth, okay? The other thing I wanted to bring through with this video too, and going back to that, is like it's not a battle of flesh and blood, it's a spiritual battle. The battle is to maintain your heart, your soul, and your divinity regardless of what's happening around you. To maintain that high vibration regardless of what other people are doing, other people are saying, how people are treating you, if people are tampering with your car, if people are breaking into your house, if people are doing whatever they're doing, because people are going to do the most, because a lot of them, again, they don't know what they're doing. They are operating from a level that they just truly have no understanding and comprehension of what they're doing. And so as those who are awake or more aware, it is imperative to give everybody grace. Give yourself grace, give your family members grace, give people down the street grace, give the guy who cut you off, give everybody grace, okay? The next thing too is the twin flame journey is a journey to self. It's a journey to wholeness. And so if you're always focused on that, yourself, your wholeness, your well-being at all times, regardless of the situations and circumstances that arise, you are in union. Energetically, you're in union with yourself. You're in union with your masculine and feminine parts, which means you are creating that energetic space to bring union into the physical. And I know that's hard for some because we get so focused on and fixated on the external relationship. But twin flame union, twin flame journey is a journey of self. It's a journey of self-actualization. It's a journey of self-unconditional love. And so as long as you're, regardless if you're with your person, not with your person, in communication, not in communication, as long as you're always coming back to, am I in balance? Am I in alignment? Am I in my wholeness? Am I fulfilling my soul's call? And doing those things, am I listening to my intuition? Am I doing the healing work? As long as you're always really participating in your life with yourself in that way, you are always energetically aligned for union in the external, because you're in union with yourself internally. And so just wanted to bring those things through. Now let's talk about the interference. She brought up a great one, which is, again, it seems like, so these are some examples of interference, some from her video and some that my guides gave me and that I wanted to bring through as well. One major example is like, again, everything seems like it's moving forward. You guys are talking, things are good, or you guys are making plans to kind of be together, and then life just, everything falls apart. Other people get involved. Third party energies, it's a big interference, but third party is not always like a person that your person is with, or a person that you end up being with, or a toxic connection. Third party energies can be family members. Third party energies can be jobs. So there's multiple types of third party karmic energies, karmic cycles. It's an energy that's binding, okay? It's an energy where it's like, I don't want this in my life. I don't want to do this, but I feel obligated to it. That is third party toxic energy, okay? I'm sick of being tired. I'm sick of being in the same situation. I'm sick of this going back and forth, but I can't seem to get off the hamster wheel. That is a great example of third party energy and third party karmic entanglements, okay? And this happens a lot on the twin flame journey. Many of us have experienced either ourselves personally or with the person that is our divine counterpart, the third party twin interference, okay? Another really good example of third party interference is my example. Like, everything's moving forward in your life for yourself personally. Everything's, you're finally coming into the manifestations and the alignments of your dreams and goals, and then you get cyber attacked, you get your bank account hacked, there's fraud on, and this has all happened to me literally in the last week. I had fraud on my debit card, so I had to cancel my debit card, had my car interfered with, had a couple other things, had some mail stolen, mail that I've been waiting for. So it's just been like one thing after another. That is also a sign of interference. Karmic energies, lower vibrational energies that do not want me to move forward. Other examples of interference, she didn't bring this up in the video, but this is a really, really powerful one, is if you're already in a connection with someone, you're already in a relationship. For some of you, you could be married, or this is a long-term partnership of yours, and you've always been happy with that person. That's always been your one and only. But all of a sudden, you develop a very strong physical and sexual attraction to somebody else. And it kind of comes out of nowhere. And then you start questioning, and you start doubting, and you start wondering, should I leave the person that I've been with, the person that I love? Interference is anything that interferes with you, like your goals, your morals, your boundaries, and would make you compromise yourself in any way. That is devil energy. You can say it's devil energy. You can say it's low vibrational energy, but that is interference. And so if you find yourself in that position where all of a sudden you're about to blow up your life, even though you've always been happy and you've always wanted that person and things were always good, but then all of a sudden you meet this other person and now you're wanting to stray, that's interference. It's not interference, I gotta say this, if you've been unhappy in a situation for a long time and then you meet somebody else. That's not necessarily interference. That's the universe saying, okay, we're gonna test you to see if you're gonna stay unhappy in your situation, if you're gonna try to heal and elevate the current situation, or if you're gonna move on to this new opportunity. But interference, again, is you've been happy. You've never thought about cheating, straying, thinking about anybody else, and then all of a sudden you start developing strong physical, sexual feelings for somebody else that would put you in a position that you could potentially compromise yourself. That's interference, okay? And that has also happened in twin flame connections where you've been with your twin and then they step out on you with a third party. That is why. For those of you who've been in that situation, I know that some of you who watch this have been in that situation where you were in a long-term relationship with your twin and then they stepped out on you with a third party. That is why. That's an example of interference, okay? Another example of interference too is where you start getting really insecure and doubting yourself, doubting everything, start second guessing everything. That also is a strong example of interference, where it kind of just seemed to come out of nowhere. One day you were very secure, you were very confident, and the next day you're just like, I don't know if this is right. I'm feeling very insecure. I don't know if I'm worthy. It's like your own inner sort of healing and trauma that's coming up to the surface. But also we have to understand that, how do I say this? Things get implanted. Thoughts get implanted. Emotions can get implanted, especially if you're highly empathic. You're absorbing everything around you. So you're picking up on the energies of other people around you. And sometimes it's very hard to decipher what is yours and what is not. And so just like the movie Inception, you can implant an idea, and you have to understand that the physical world is only one dimension. We are multidimensional beings. We exist on many different dimensions and many different planes. And then there's a ton of energies and entities that exist energetically in 4D and other dimensions that are not in the flesh. That's why the battle is not against the flesh, because things can be implanted. Your perception can be skewed. Interference tries to destabilize. It tries to cause disharmony. It tries to deceive. It tries to bring in energies of destruction and chaos. And that's how you know that there's interference in your life. Whether it is interference in your relationships, whether it is interference in your own personal goals and dreams, that's an example of interference, okay? And so the reason why this video is so important right now and very timely right now is because we are in a very important access point of spiritual evolution, divine destiny. We have the Aries Libra axis in the north node of Aries and the south node of Libra. And so many of us are pushing through. We're breaking through all of the limitations and all of the things in the past that have held us back from fulfilling our highest potential. But we still have to deal with the south node issues, relationships, how we feel about relationships, codependent tendencies, all that stuff. So it's like your energy is healing and expanding, but you still have to deal with the distorted lower nature of yourself. Because we are both human and divine, we have a higher nature and a lower nature. And so this is a time, Libra season is always one of the most, it's like a karmic reckoning. It's one of the most karmic times of the entire year. People who have strong Libra placements have a lot of karma to come and balance. I am one of them. Like Libra, Scorpio, Pisces. There's a couple other signs that tend to have more karma than others. And so if you're dealing with these issues of interference, number one, do not blame yourself. That's what interference wants you to do. That's what lower vibrational energies want you to do. They want you to wallow. They want you to get into a space where you're hopeless, your vibration's lowered. They can implant and incept ideas and thoughts into your energetic space that you more easily would accept and take on as your own when you're in a space when you're vulnerable, when you're in a space when you're sad, when you're in a space when you're feeling hopeless. This is a time with Aries energy to like tap into that power center, your solar plexus power, Be empowered. Right now, if you are not in union with your person, things are not moving forward. What can you do today that makes you feel powerful, worthy, attractive, like Queen of Wands, King of Wands, like in that fucking fire energy? That is so important. It is so important right now, especially because we've got that Aries full moon later on this week on the 29th. And because we're coming into eclipse season where there's going to be a Libra new moon solar eclipse on the 14th. So these next like 2 to 3 weeks, imperative for you stepping into your power and feeling powerful. Number 2, forgive. Forgiveness is always important. My guides, like yesterday, all day, they were just like, you need to forgive, you need to forgive, you need to forgive, you need to forgive, you need to forgive. That's how I know it's my guidance, because I'm like, Valhalla, bitch, let's like guns blazing. Like, I want to go like beat some bitches. And they're just like, no, forgive. But that's my lower nature. That's the thing that I have to work through, the triggers that I have to work through. And so when you're aware of that, you can choose your divinity. You can forgive. You can just be in a space where you're calm and peaceful and good and laugh about it. Humor is always, you know, humor is like the medicine for the soul. That's another thing that's really important during this time too, but just forgive, let it go. Let it go. Understand that everything's always in divine order. Everything is always the way that it's happening is the way that it's meant to be for the highest good. Trust and believe that your highest good will come. Trust and believe that everything that is truly meant for you is never going to miss you by. And that even though there are detours and bumps in the road, that, you know, keep calm and carry on, right? Keep moving forward no matter what. That is the energy of the Chariot. That is the energy of this year, because we are in a 7-year. The other message is practice detachment. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't love someone. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't want to be with someone. But if being so attached to them and so attached to union and so attached to the timing and so attached is causing you pain and is stirring you up and is destabilizing you and is making you feel disharmonious within, and you're not in that space of wholeness and you're not in that space of alignment, that's when practicing detachment is very, very important. These are not easy times. And, you know, it's going to become more challenging before it gets better. But just know that you are supported by heaven, by the cosmos. We're supported on this mission. We came on purpose for a purpose, and it wasn't just that we chose to be here. We were chosen because we had what it takes to do it. So you have what it takes to do whatever it is that you want to do. You have what it takes, and you are so incredibly powerful. Never forget that, and never let anybody minimize your truth or minimize your worth. Interference is something that is going to happen. You know, it's always good to be forewarned and forearmed. The other important thing too is that, you know, trust your intuition on how to navigate interference. You can always ask your guides and pray and say, you know, what's the best way for me to navigate the interference that's happening in my twin flame connection? What's the best way to navigate the interference that's happening in my life? Ask, and the answer and the solution and the miracle will be given. Okay. So really just felt called to do this video because I get a lot of emails and messages from people, and I'm getting a theme of messages of, you know, people from my beautiful community, incredible people who are really struggling right now, struggling with feelings of lack and feelings of unworthiness and feeling like lost and confused. And trust that you're not alone. Trust that many of us are going through this right now. But also, again, give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, forgive yourself, forgive the other, forgive the third party, forgive it all. And stand in your power. You are whole, and you are loved and cherished beyond measure. Remember that. You're stronger than any lower negative forces will ever be. The light is always going to be stronger. Take this example. I love this quote, but when the light shines, the darkness cannot remain. If you think of like a house that's all dark, but then you turn on the light and everything's illuminated. If you can hold that light for yourself and just continue to turn on the light whenever there's darkness, turn on the light, turn it up as bright as it fucking can be, there will not be darkness in your life and interference will not prevail. Sending you my love. Take care.